Wipes will be coming to Lost Light and the player base is not happy about it. We need to talk about this. Last week I made a community post here on YouTube asking you guys what you think about wipes, and the results actually surprised me a little. I can't really say that this is representative of the whole player base, but assume for a second that it is. Only 37% of the 84 respondents think wipes are a good thing, while 53% think they are bad. Which means that over half of the player base is negative towards wipes. In addition to this, a whole 20% answered that they will quit the game if a wipe happens. The remaining 10% simply doesn't care. What's interesting about this is that 53% of the respondents are negative towards an inevitable mechanic in the game. As it stands right now, a wipe is coming whether we like it or not. I haven't heard from a single regional server yet where anyone is even close to reaching the amount of Healy antibodies needed to prevent the wipe. As it stands, if my survey is anything to go by, 33% of the player base is going to be mad when the wipe happens, while a whopping 20% of the player base will be so mad that they quit the game. 20% of the player base will quit the game because of a feature NetEase put into the game. This is an issue that NetEase needs to address. Now, let's quickly talk about wipes and what they do to a game like this. They are not at all uncommon in the world of extraction shooters, and in other games they are mostly looked at as a positive thing. Take Escape from Tarkov, which Lost Light is extremely inspired from, without a doubt. This game wipes at a regular basis. The time brackets vary, but usually there is a wipe twice a year alongside a big update to the game, usually in the form of map extensions, entirely new maps or new items and quests, alongside new features and balancing. For the first few weeks after a wipe, the player base is huge. People who haven't played in months will return to the game before quitting again after reaching their goals. It's worth taking into account that Escape from Tarkov is in beta and wipes happen because they are making big changes to the game. It is a fairly common opinion that the game is at its best right after a wipe. But why? One reason is because people aren't running around with all the best gear anymore. New players get a chance at thriving. It levels the battlefield by putting everyone at even terms, and people love it. Why is it the opposite in Lost Light? I can't say for sure, but I do have some theories, some of which were brought to me by you guys from taking the poll and reading your comments on my videos. Theory number 1. Payment. I think the payment model of Lost Light will have a negative impact on the game in the long term if wipes are going to be a regular thing. When a wipe occurs, you get to keep your skins and cosmetics, but everything else you work towards will be gone. Everything that you got from your battle pass or premium subscription will also be gone or wasted. I think the fact that they aren't even giving us a fighting chance by having such a low drop rate on the Healy antibodies will amplify this. They took our money and they didn't even give us a chance. They are probably going to be laughing all the way to the bank anyways, but wouldn't it be better to have long-term customers instead of scaring away people who are willing to pay? Do you think they can just rake in new customers infinitely? Well, we don't know, but these were some of the points you guys made in the comments. Theory number 2. Wipes are bad for the casual player. In this case, I look at casual players as people who only get time to play the game a few hours every week. People who just want to play whenever they can and don't really care about much more than having fun for 20 minutes here and 20 minutes there. These are players who want to take their time and just enjoy the game at their own pace. They might not even reach level 20 over the period of a full season. For them, losing their progress at regular intervals of 90 days is devastating. If I was a casual player in this sense, I would most definitely have chosen the "I'll quit if a wipe happens" in my poll. There is a counter argument here that this game might just not be made for casual players, which might just be true, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. Theory number 3. Inexperience. I think a lot of players might be negative towards wipe because they're simply not used to them. They haven't played games where wipes happen at regular intervals to freshen things up, and the thought of losing their gear and progress doesn't sit well with them. And that is completely understandable. Things might end up feeling like they don't matter and you're just wasting your time anyways. I can say with certainty that people pour thousands of hours into games that wipe regularly, but they're mostly survival games like Rust, which are quite different from Lost Light. If you have any other theories, please drop them in the comments below. Now for my personal opinion. I don't mind wipes. I prefer games like these to wipe every now and then to level the playing field. After a while, it gets stale running around with top tier gear all the time. By wiping, you get to feel the struggle once again. What I do not like though is wiping just for the sake of wiping. The wipe needs to happen for a reason, and those reasons should be things like content updates and major changes to the game. Not just to end this season so that you can introduce a new battle pass to draw more money from your players. This gives the developers a chance to not only add content that expands the end game, but also make changes and additions to the early game. They could change up the whole dynamic of the progression route to have a start in the Windswept Harbor and have the BAF factory be unlocked later. They could come up with some lore about the pheromone outbreak as to why this is the case. The possibilities are quite endless, and it all depends on how much resources NetEase is willing to put into it. If, however, a wipe just happens and the game is just the same as before with no changes, I will most likely end up mad myself, and I can't say for sure if I'll bother progressing through the game again just to do the same stuff over and over again every 90 days with nothing new added to it. NetEase needs to play their cards right with this, especially since they stand to lose 1/5 of their player base because of it, not to mention the 50% that are negative towards wipes in general. I think for now we just have to wait and see how it plays out. Sadly, NetEase isn't a company that does much communication with its player base, so we literally have no idea what is going to happen or what we can expect from the future. They most likely don't care either way as long as they keep making their money. It's sad to say. If you don't know how Lost Light's wipe mechanic works, you need to watch this video right here, right now to get up to speed. And subscribe before you go. See you in the next one.